Okay, everyone, it's day 5 of Operation Epic Fury, the joint U.S. and Israeli military operation designed to neutralize the threat posed by Iran. Now, their former supreme leader was killed, so the immediate need right now is for a government to emerge to take charge of Iran. Now, it's been reported in the media that the Iranians haven't been able to form a government friendly to both the United States and Israel. So it occurred to me that maybe a viceroy or viceroys could be appointed. Now, we don't have to call them viceroys. They could be administrative managers. Now, we need individuals with superb managerial ability above all. So, who would I nominate? Andrew Cuomo and Eric Adams. Now, maybe they both could be appointed. The job of New York City mayor is a managerial job, and that's where Zohran Mamdani is currently failing. Okay, for example, which is so disturbing because the United States and Israel are exceptionally well-managed countries. And I believe that that's what's been missing in Iran, skilled management. Now, eventually, Operation Epic Fury will come to a close. What we don't want to leave behind in Iran is a vacuum, which would be giving away an opportunity to ISIS or Hezbollah, which might try to fill the vacuum. Now, the United States and Israel could jointly approve managers or viceroys so that the people of Iran at least have water to drink, so that garbage isn't piling up in the streets, and so that people's lives are channeled toward peace and prosperity instead of warmongering and uranium enrichments. But just to backtrack a bit, I want to discuss the reasons for the Iran offensive. Now, this is a joint operation with Israel, but of course, we're in this conflict for ourselves. The United States will benefit a lot more than Israel, in my view. Israel, because of its location, is right in the thick of the fighting. It's very hard going for them, always is. God bless them. Now, neutralizing the hostility within Iran and managing the territory of Iran for the benefit of everyone, not least of all ourselves, will greatly assist in moving the entire region toward peace and prosperity. Now, President Trump, in comments to the media, also emphasized that the final decision to launch Operation Epic Fury rested with him, not Israeli Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu, as previously reported.
The president did contradict his Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, who yesterday told reporters that the imminent threat that the U.S. was facing was because Israel was about to attack Iran, and then Iran was poised to retaliate against the U.S., so the U.S. decided to strike first. The president clearly pushing back against that notion, saying, as you noted, that he might have forced Israel's hand. He did say, in arguing about the threat, that it's an evil ideology, and he went on to say that somebody had to do this.
And I just have to observe here, the anti-Zionist wing of the party has gone full crazy in its hatred of Israel and scapegoating of Israel. Now, it's a sad day when you force our president to say that he isn't a mere puppet controlled by Israel's PM. Now, Tucker Carlson, for example, had the nerve to assert that we're fighting this war for Israel and not for ourselves. Now, here's a clip of him saying that.
Why did this happen? Now, in this case, there's a really simple answer. This happened because Israel wanted it to happen. This is Israel's war. This is not the United States' war. This war is not being waged on behalf of American national security objectives to make the United States safer or richer. This war is not actually even about weapons of mass destruction, nukes, chem bio. No, this war is waged purely because Israel wanted it to be waged. Now, why say that out loud this early in the conflict? Isn't that dispiriting for, say, American troops fighting this war? Yes, it is.
So it's very blatant there. He's blaming Israel because if he blamed the United States, he would be forced to admit that he's outside the circle of political power in his own country, and he just can't do that. He cannot admit that to himself, even though everyone else can see it. And why is Tucker Carlson outside the circle of decision-making power? Well, it's because he's a conspiracy theorist. Now, if you spew conspiracy theories against Israel, you will not be taken seriously as a thought leader. That's just a fact. Okay, now President Trump did an interview immediately after launching the Iran offensive. He spoke about Tucker Carlson. Now, President Trump said about Carlson, quote unquote, he can say whatever he wants. It has no impact on me. Now, President Trump also called out Megyn Kelly, who's allied with Tucker Carlson. They've been friends for many years. They work together at Fox News. Now, President Trump said that Megyn Kelly, and I quote, ought to study her history book a little bit. And in my view, that's something she has in common with Tucker Carlson. Most of their anger, from what I can tell, is based on gaps in their knowledge. And as I always emphasize on this channel, what lessons can we learn from that type of behavior? Well, maybe when we become angry, we can take a step back and determine, are we angry because this is an area where we have knowledge or because we lack knowledge? Now, most often it's the latter. Most of the time, it will be the latter. Now, we should always let knowledge guide our emotions rather than our emotions being led by a lack of knowledge. Now, in this next clip, Megyn Kelly addressed the president's comments about her and Tucker Carlson.
He stood up for himself. He said, like, they can't hurt me. Her opinion doesn't matter because she's been opposed to me in the past and I still won. Fair point. And then he said, she's not MAGA. And he said, Tucker's not MAGA. He's right. I'm not MAGA. Like, that is a very fair response. Nor have I ever purported to be. The most I've ever said I am is MAGA adjacent.
Then Megyn Kelly goes on to say she's a journalist, just a journalist. She's not part of any movement, which brings up a question. What is MAGA? Now, in the article, President Trump is quoted as saying, I think that MAGA is Trump. MAGA's not the other two, referring to Kelly and Carlson. MAGA wants to see our country thrive and be safe, and MAGA loves what I'm doing, every aspect of it. Now, this is a detour that we have to take in order to keep our country safe and keep other countries safe, frankly. So, in the interview on Sky News Australia, Megyn Kelly was forced to say she's not MAGA. And in my view, I'm just speculating. This rift happened because of 2028. It's very sad. But back to the governance issue. Now, the immediate need right now in Iran is for a government to emerge. I've stated who my nominees are for administrative managers or viceroys. Now, Andrew Cuomo and Eric Adams have managed very complex governmental systems, New York City and New York State, including during times of emergency. Now, managing Iran as a territory would be a different type of challenge, but it might be less complex than New York City and New York State. Now, in Iran, the people need water, housing, businesses, transportation, police, etc. Now, if Iran were operated like New York City and New York State, we would all be better off. Now, maybe there could be a partition, for example, with Tehran being operated like New York City, and maybe the rest of Iran operated like New York State. Just an idea. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, leave a like and don't forget to subscribe.